Hi, in this video I'm going to talk through and demonstrate a daily stroke general check on a self-contained breathing apparatus set. This check should be carried out daily if the set is being used daily, or whenever it's going to be used to protect a wearer in a confined space. The start of this check should be a visual check of the entire set. So we're checking the back plate, we're checking the attachment points of the harness, we're checking the fabric, we're checking the general condition of the set, checking that the buckles work, that we can fasten and unfasten all the attachment points. Once we've done that, we're going to move on to the cylinder to set connection. An important part of this is the O-ring washer. Usually is where a breathing apparatus set will leak, if it's going to leak at all. So check that the O-ring's in place. Behind that we have a pressure reducing valve, which on the right hand side, if I follow the high pressure pipe along, checking it for condition, moving my hand round, checking for cuts, damage, bulging, it then terminates in our pressure gauge. The pressure gauge, you want to check that the glass is in good order, that the whistle port is clear, and that the gauge is on 0. On the left hand side of the reducing valve, we've got the medium pressure pipe. Follow this around, keep it going round, we find a coupling, check that that operates. It does. Move ourselves further round until we get to our lung demand valve. Check that it's free from debris, check that the supplementary airflow button works, and that the off switch works as well. Once we've done that, we can check the face mask. We need to check the visor is in good order. It's complete, it's not got too much scratches in, and it's in good condition. We're going to check the head harness is fully extended, so it's easy to put on, and that it has the little spade ends to ensure that the straps don't come undone at any time. Looking inside the mask, there's several things that we can check. We can check the pressure flex seal, which is what seals the mask against your face. Check it's in good order, check behind it, making sure there's no paper towel, flies and such like. There's also an orinasal face mask. You want to check inside that, which has 2 inhalation valves. Check that they're in place and that they're in the closed position. If we pull the chin cup forward, we can see the exhalation valve. We need to check that this is in good order, good condition, and is in the closed position. On this type of mask, we can also check the exhalation valve by opening up the port on the front. Check that the demand valve release button operates correctly, and we can put the mask down. We can move on to the cylinder. Several things we're going to check on the cylinder. We're going to check that it contains breathing air, which is denoted by the black and white hatching on the top of the cylinder. We're going to check that it's been tested. Cylinders need checking every 5 years. So we're checking that the cylinder's in date, and we're checking also that it hasn't reached its expiry date. Checking it overall for condition, making sure there's no severe damage on it, that we can't see the metal underneath the carbon fibre, and so on and so forth. Other important information is its charging pressure. It's charged to 200 bar. We need to make sure that when we put the cylinder on the set that it hasn't been over pressurized. We can also check how many litres the cylinder contains, which will enable us to work out how much air it will contain when it's full. What I'm going to do now is place the cylinder onto the set. Doing it carefully, ensuring that I don't connect with the cylinder to set connection until I'm ready. And then I'm going to connect the cylinder to the set, clockwise direction, and ensure that it's only finger tight. We don't need to over tighten the connector. I'm going to tighten the retaining strap, tidy it all the way, and we've now ready for the next part of the test. So what we're going to do now is a high pressure leak test. we need to ensure that the set isn't leaking. To do this, we make sure that we press the off switch and then we open the cylinder fully and ensure that we've got the required amount of air. To work in a confined space or when using breathing apparatus, we need at least 80% of the normal working pressure. So in this case, 200 bar is normal and we need at least 200. We need at least 160, which is 80% of 200, which it has. We need to now find out if it's leaking. So to do this, all we simply do is close the main valve. This isolates the cylinder from the set, meaning any leaks will be readily identified. And what we do now is we simply watch the pressure gauge and make sure that it isn't leaking. There is a permissible leak allowed, which is 10 bar in 1 minute. Doesn't mean you have to watch it for a minute. We can watch it and ascertain whether it is actually creeping or not. If it isn't, that's fine. If it is, then we'll leave it for a minute and make sure it doesn't lose more than 10 bar. It's passed its test on that. We're now going to check that the whistle operates. To do this, we simply clamp our hand over the demand valve, activate the purge button and watch the gauge. And what we're doing is we're slowly palming down the air, reducing the pressure in the system until the whistle operates. And the whistle should operate at 55 bar plus or minus 5. So anywhere between 60 and 50, which it did. Once we've completed that part of the test, what we're going to do now is attach the face mask and check that we've got a good seal. So to do that, what we simply do is place the face mask against our face, breathe in and suck that mask to our face for approximately 8 seconds to ensure that we've got a good seal. Once we've done that, and I'll explain what I'm going to do before I do it because you won't be able to hear me once I've got the mask on. So I'm going to fit the mask. I'm then going to breathe in to activate the flow of air. And then there's several things that I'm going to check. I'm going to check that I've got positive pressure. There needs to be more pressure on the inside of the mask than outside. So I'm going to put my fingers inside, break the seal and listen for air. I'm then going to hold my breath and listen for leaks to ascertain that there isn't any flow of air. I'm going to press the supplementary airflow button so that I can ascertain that I'm getting free flow of air if required. And then I'm going to move my head in several directions to make sure that the mask maintains a seal at all times. So we'll switch on first. Once I've completed that test, what I'm going to do now is close the cylinder down, drain the system and fill in a logbook detailing that the test has been completed and has passed.